Holistic Show.
My name is Lloyd Bryant.
I'm Danielle Bryant.
And today, there's a few tips we'd like to offer. Common things that our customers find are problems. And along the way, you may even save a little bit of money, because there's a few tips that's not really in the mainstream. And Danielle is a qualified nutritional therapist, and she's going to also put her experience into some tips we're going to offer you today. So, what should we start off with then, Danielle?
Well, I think the first thing that anybody should do is cut out all artificial sweeteners and MSG from their diet. That's the one major thing. Aspartame is linked to so many things, and all the other sweeteners like sucralose and this Nutruvia and that, even though it's based on the stevia herb, it's still as processed as the others, you know. Aspartame in particular has a horrendous list of side effects. The FDA holds 92 documented side effects from it, so including death. So, and, you know, people might think, oh yeah, I've been taking it all my life and it hasn't affected me. Well, actually, it was only introduced in the early 80s, so probably not all your life, but even so, it's accumulative, and the effects are long-term rather than short-term, although they can be short-term too. Cutting out sweeteners and MSG, that's a very, very big thing. The other thing to cut out as well, or at least reduce as much as possible, because it is in so much stuff, is sugar. I mean, sugar itself is a drug, and it's an alien thing to the body, you know. So cutting out sugar feeds cancer, sugar feeds candida, yeast overgrowth, it kills our friendly bacteria. It's really, really harmful for us.
Okay, so what alternatives have you got? Because you've got sugar, but then the artificial sweeteners have been introduced to offer an alternative. So what healthier options are there for people with a bit of a sweet tooth?
Well, personally, I use xylitol and I use manuka honey. And you can also use natural honey. Those are the best ways, really. Any fructose-based sweetener like agave syrup, they really high in fructose, and fructose can actually be a little bit more harmful than sucrose in the way that it's processed by the body and it turns to fat if it's not used. Xylitol, I've found, is the best alternative, but you don't really need a lot of sugar. It's so addictive, and it alters your taste so much that after a few days of cutting it out, you'll actually find that things sweet that weren't once sweet before, if you know what I mean. So
yeah, I think you reduce your sweet tooth if you can break that for a while. You know,
yeah, definitely. So your taste will change, you know, a lot. You just got to. It's like anything. It's like giving up anything that's addictive. You know, you just got to go through the first few days. I'd say maximum of a week, and your tastes will change. And also things like coconut, you can add coconut to things, you know, desiccated coconut to sweeten them, and, you know, just be inventive.
All right then. So that's like your first tip then, to cut out the artificial.
Yeah.
Keep natural, but also the sugar is is it better for organic and refined, or
it's the lesser of two evils, but it's still, you know.
Right, okay.
The thing with foods is all processed foods will almost all processed foods contain sugar, or if they're low in sugar or low in fat, they've had a lot of other stuff added to bring up the taste. So things like MSG, monosodium glutamate, also known as E621. That's another one that's the sweeteners and the MSG and they're known as neurotoxins. They're actually toxic to our brain. So they're really the ones to avoid. But the best thing to do is try and go organic as much as possible, so you're not getting the pesticides and the herbicides that are sprayed onto the foods, which can't be washed off, because when they're sprayed onto the plants will absorb them within the plant. So washing is not going to do anything. When wheat is picked and it's stored as a grain, it's actually sprayed while it's being stored and before it's used to make flour. And they don't wash it off before they make flour, you know, and it's sprayed quite a few times as well with different things, you know, so...
Okay, so we've gone off the artificial, and now we're talking to, what are we talking? Things using pesticides? Is that one of your tips?
This is all the same tip, really. I'm talking about the unnatural things in our foods.
Right, okay, so keep everything natural.
And reduce the sugar.
And what about processed? Would you say, does it need to be
Well, like I say, you just read the labels. I mean, the best way is to make your own food because you know exactly what's going in it. And the more processing, the more away from the natural product that something looks, the more it's been processed. So just try and get as close to natural as you can.
Okay then. So eat natural and avoid the sugar and the artificial sweeteners in particular. I think that's the summary of that one. So what's your next tip then?
The next tip is to look at any medications that you're taking. So whether these are over-the-counter or prescribed. Over-the-counter medications, there's always natural alternatives. Just do a search on Google or have a look at any of our other tutorials to see if there's any hints there. Most things are caused by mineral deficiencies or emotional issues. With prescribed medication, obviously we can't say don't take prescribed medication, but the thing is to ask, can this be managed another way? So medications such as water tablets, statins, tablets for diabetes, as in type 2 diabetes, antacids, some are prescribed by the doctors, anything like that. Just think, could it be managed by diet?
So, I mean, I know this has been a bugbear of ours that doctors aren't really trained on nutrition, but they are trained on drugs, so maybe it's down to the individual to be looking for a nutritional alternative to some of these drugs in the first instance, and then, if they can't find the natural methods, rather than choosing to go to the doctor first and start popping pills straight away,
Yeah, definitely, Yeah, but I mean, basically, you go to the doctors, you're going to the pharmaceutical approach because doctors, that's how doctors are trained. Yeah. They're trained that this is an illness, these are the symptoms, and this is the drug that we use to help the symptoms. So as you said, the doctors are not trained in nutrition. I think it was Rob Verkerk of the Alliance for Natural Health. Yeah. It was his son or son or daughter, I think. Yeah, went through medical training and did 1 day of nutrition in the 7 years training. And I think it was less than a day, I think. So when you consider that our bodies use the things that we eat as building blocks to regenerate our cells, then we are actually made of what we eat. And therefore, if we're not giving ourselves the correct building blocks and the correct fuel, then we're bound to get ill. So to me, I just think that is quite alien to be looking just at the other side of, you've got this wrong, take this drug, when we should be looking at what we're making our bodies out of. Okay. Right, okay, yeah, well, we obviously both agree on that it's just putting a band-aid on the problem. It does have a place sometimes. Okay. I'm not completely anti, you need anaesthetic if you're going to have an operation, unless you want to go through hypnosis or something like that. And when you have accidents and you have like broken limbs and things, there is a place for it. But I think that a very high percentage of medications are unnecessary. Okay. All right then, so what's your next tip? The other thing I wanted to add about medications is that all medications will deplete your mineral levels, which will cause other problems. Okay. Some will horrendously deplete your levels more than others, Okay. And does it typically say this on the label? I don't think I've ever seen it say that it's going to deplete your mineral levels at all. And the thing is that what we're made of is what makes us healthy, isn't it? So our mineral levels are really important. That's what we need. They're our essential minerals. They're not called essential for nothing. Okay then. So next, the other thing is to look at the cosmetics that you're using, because our skin is the biggest organ of our body, and it's a semi-permeable membrane which absorbs things through it, and what you put on your skin can actually go into your body. Okay. What types of cosmetics are the worst then? The worst offenders? Well, anything that contains parabens, anything ending in paraben, they're carcinogens, which mean they cause cancer. So whether it's shampoo, conditioner, something that you wash with, you know. Anything you put on your skin is going to absorb in to
So
some
not just
degree.
makeup and things, you're talking toiletries and things as well.
Yeah. So yeah, and also cleaning products, because if you're handling a cleaning product, when you're touching it, it's going to absorb into your skin. So looking at sort of natural cleaning products as well, and wearing gloves, you know.
So is anything ending in paraben, could be methyl, ethyl, paraben, etc.
Yeah.
What's
And
the others?
also there's SLES and SLS.
Okay.
So sodium lauryl sulfate and sodium laureth sulfate.
Okay.
They're carriers. So if you put in something on your skin with parabens in and SLS, and the SLS will help to carry the parabens through.
Right. Okay.
So that's a
double whammy there.
Double whammy.
Okay then.
Looking for natural alternatives,
Yeah,
natural brands. Just reading the labels, really. The same with your foods. Just know what you're putting on your skin, know what you're coming into contact with, and know what you're eating. Just reading the labels.
Okay. All right then.
First few shopping tips will be very timely.
So that's 3 tips then. Have you got another one?
So the next 3 tips are moving on to just 3 simple things that we can replace in our everyday lives that will really, really help. In my experience and in my clients' experiences,
right, okay.
and in our customers' experiences too.
Okay.
So the first one is any oil that you cook with is change it to coconut oil.
Okay.
So even if you're cooking with olive oil, which is deemed to have a higher temperature, it turns to trans fat. It still will turn to trans fat at a level that we cook with. So coconut oil doesn't, and it's got loads of benefits, and we'll do a separate program on it.
Okay.
Because it's too many to go into at the moment. So
people might be worried about the taste or the smell of the coconut then.
Well, you can get minimally refined coconut oil.
Right, okay. And
the other thing to consider, a lot of it has been heat treated and melted in.
Yeah, I can see sometimes in glasses, and it's just like pure. It's been obviously liquefied and poured in there.
Yeah. Now, it's not going to turn into a trans fat when you heat it, so it's not going to be harmful like other oils will turn into trans fats. So that's why it's safe for cooking with. But if you're looking at the properties in it, then they're going to be reduced by the heat process.
Right, okay.
So it's obviously best to have raw virgin organic coconut oil is the best way to have it.
But that still smells and tastes.
But that still smells. Yeah, you can get.
It's a more expensive one, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite expensive. So minimally refined coconut oil is great. Got it in our chip pan. Fry eggs with it and everything.
Okay, so coconut oil.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else we're going to replace in our kitchen?
Replace any salt for cooking and for putting on your food with Himalayan salt. Himalayan salt is unlike any other salt. That includes sea salt, other rock salt. It has a crystalline structure that is different, and the way that the structure is formed is completely bioavailable to our bodies, which means our body can easily process it, and it can get to the 80 plus minerals that are contained in it. So it's a bit like taking a mineral supplement every time you eat. If you put some Himalayan salt on it, if you cook with it, you can bake with it, you can just use it as normal salt. And don't worry about blood pressure and things like that, because it's been known to regulate blood pressure because it contains the minerals that we need.
Okay.
And so any mineral imbalances could well be helped with Himalayan salt. We've known personally family members who've taken it after exercise, and it's helped with cramping just by changing the salt in their diet.
Fitness. After doing workouts and the like, and stop the cramping. So
just by replacing the salt that they used every day. So it's really is good stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just pick up a point on that because it's often touted is the Celtic sea salt, which I'm not actually personally tried, but on doing research with the Himalayan salt, I found the mineral content to be better with the Himalayan salt. We can put a link to the article that I've written on this. It's got a lot lower heavy metal levels in our Himalayan salt.
Because it also depends on the source of the Himalayan salt, because you can get some very cheap sources, maybe, Yeah. So, it's best to sort of check it out.
Okay. So that was Himalayan salt. Is there any other final tips now we want to give?
Okay, this is something I would suggest everybody does, because everybody I've spoken to, all of my clients and all of the hair mineral tests that I have analysed, this is something that as soon as somebody says there's something wrong with them, I say try this, and it quite often works. And that's to supplement with magnesium, because magnesium is the first thing that's depleted. It's depleted by stress, it's depleted by medication, it's depleted by pesticides and herbicides in our food, by any sort of stress on the system caused by anything really, you know. It's the biggest of the victim.
And magnesium levels in food, I understand, has gone down from what it used to be.
Because it's not in the soil anymore.
Back in the day when everything was organic. So.
That's right, yeah. I mean, yeah, pesticides and herbicides will deplete the magnesium availability in the food that you're eating.
So we've got less magnesium coming in naturally through our food, and we're depleting it more through modern medication, stress and the like.
Just lifestyle, yeah. I mean, everything depletes magnesium.
Okay. So what can we do about it?
Magnesium is really, really important because it helps all of our other minerals, and in particular calcium, to be used by the body. There's too much to go into now. But magnesium chloride flakes are by far the best way to get magnesium into your body.
Okay.
If you were deficient, you would probably use half of this tub in a bath. But you can get it in like big, huge buckets as well. You can also make an oil out of it, and you can apply that to your skin before you shower. That would have to be done daily, because it's not as efficient as putting it in the bath. And you can also put a handful in a foot spa, and you'd need to do that at least every other day. Right. If you have it in a bath, you could just do that twice a week.
Okay. So this will absorb in through your skin? It'll
absorb in through the skin, yeah. If we take magnesium orally, in whatever form, we only ever absorb up to 40% of what we take in. Up to, that is. It's not, that's the maximum. And it can give digestive disturbance. However, if you want to do it orally instead, the best form is magnesium citrate.
Right, okay.
I just wanted to mention about Epsom salts. A lot of people think that if they take Epsom salts, because it's magnesium sulfate, that they will be getting magnesium from it. But it's a far more draw-in form of magnesium, so it draws out toxins. You will get a little bit of magnesium, but not. I've had clients who have had hair mineral tests who have been bathing in Epsom salts regularly, and they're still magnesium deficient. I've also had clients who are taking regular magnesium supplements, and they're still magnesium deficient. I took this for a year in my baths, and my magnesium levels went up from severely deficient to the maximum that they could be without causing all of my other minerals to deplete.
Right, okay,
so
and that's just for using.
And that's just for, I didn't use anything else.
No. Okay. Okay. Well, like I say, we're going to take that to another show, because there's more detail we can add to that. So I think that we can.
Every point that we have made on this show warrants another show in itself. So
in more detail.
In more detail, yeah. But there is a lot of detail in the blog shopholistic.com, and there are individual articles on most of this.
Yeah. Okay. So, right. So that's enough for today. Then I think we've got a few tips there for people to be going on with, and let us know how you get on. We're going to go into detail in a few more of these things in coming shows. And so, thank you, Danielle.
I'd also like to add.
Oh, yes.
Try these 6 things, or any that you're not doing at the moment, for about a few weeks. If you're still concerned about your health, then that's the point to investigate further, because these 6 points will help a lot of people.
Right. Okay, so try these before anything else.
Further investigation, maybe visiting a kinesiologist, having a hair mineral test, or we'll actually be doing a show where you can test minerals and all sorts of things on yourself, and we're going to be showing you how to do that.
Okay, so stay tuned and look out for our upcoming shows. So thank you very much, Danielle, and hope to see you again soon.